God's presence here and now. Let us pray. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be open to the awareness of your presence. We allow your unconditional love to flow into us, to heal us, to transform us, as we allow your unconditional love to flow from us into this moment, touching each and every one who occupy this moment with us, realizing the limitless quantity of your love. We give your love freely. As we feel your love move through us into this moment, we recognize its power. We feel the transformation. We feel the elevation. And in so doing, we are blessed. And so it is that together we say, Amen. Well, we are the ones. That old saying, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Indeed, that's the case. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I avoid labeling the last couple of weeks as bad, but rather interesting. And the reason I try to avoid labeling the last couple of weeks as bad, recognizing full well the tragedy that occurred on Ash Wednesday a week and a half ago. But we open ourselves to recognize that out of that tragedy indeed can arise some great good. How many of you have not heard one or more of the students of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on camera, internet or TV or somewhere? Huh? How many of you have not heard them? There is great for me, there is great hope that is coming from hearing these students. They are courageous. They are aware. They are articulate. And they are willing to step into the maw where few politicians are willing to go. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. How many of you know of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas? Turns out she was an activist that was involved in saving the Everglades. It turns out that she also was a contributor to that high school. What? No, wait a minute. Come on. There it is. So here she is, probably in the 1990s. She lived to be 108 years old. She says, be a nuisance where it counts. Do your part to inform and stimulate the public to join your action. Be depressed, discouraged, and disappointed at failure and the disheartening effects of ignorance, greed, corruption, and bad politics, but never give up. I think the name of that school has imbued those students with a great deal of that. Never give up. You know, many of us want to do something about where our elected officials are taking us. And we often think, well, don't know what I can do, hope that somebody does it. But the essence of it is that we are the ones. We are the ones to pick up the torch. We are the ones to let our voices be heard. We are the ones to be activists in our own lives as well as the lives of our fellow citizens. We are the ones. That can be a that can be a burden. That can be something that we look at it and we say, I don't know what I can do. But that the point is that we all have the potential to be the ones that we expect others to be. And for the students to express as they've been expressing, for these students to have the courage that they have, you know, the students that have spoken on camera are actually getting death threats from the Second Amendment terrorists. Now, I agree that the Second Amendment is part of our social structure. It is part of our society. But I call them the Second Amendment terrorists because who in their right mind would try to terrorize a student speaking their own mind? That just, where is the humanity of that? Where is, it baffles me as to how that can be. But nonetheless, that's the condition that many of them are facing right now, is this pushback from these people who feel like their high-powered toys of war are their absolute right. You can tell that I don't have that opinion, but nonetheless, I'm appalled that they would take that step to terrorize these students who have been through so much already. Well, so we have this idea that we need to do our part to inform and stimulate the public to join our action. Yes, be discouraged when we fail, but don't give up in any case. Don't give up. You know, it's said that kind women are usually not quoted in history. So if you are interested in having your mark in the strata, step out there. So it turns out that our personal spiritual journey requires no less. I've said before that from time to time when I'm looking and browsing in a store and the clerk comes up and says, "Can I help you find something?" I say, "I'm looking for enlightenment." And there's that blank stare for a moment usually. And then there may be a smile that comes across their face. And if there's no smile that comes across their face, I'll go ahead with, "Well, you probably can't help me. I understand that's an inside job and it's up to me." And they finally get it that I was pulling their leg a little bit. Maybe lightening their day, I don't know. But this idea that we are the ones that are responsible for our own spiritual journey, we are the ones that are responsible for our own enlightenment, is an important element, an important factor for us to remember. This Elder Empowerment Project, the daily word this morning of my story, this Elder Empowerment Project, it is intended to give those who have reached their, quote, retirement years, cause for moving on, cause for not moving on, but cause for keeping the motion going. There's a statistic that Social Security Administration publishes that if you have reached the age of 65, chances are, now the average age of departure from this world in the U.S. is 79 and a fraction. But if you've reached the age of 65, the average age of departure for those who have reached the age of 65 is 84 for men, 86 for women. And the Elder Empowerment Project is about making those years be fulfilling, to give the people who are participating the skills, the confidence to step up and to continue to contribute to this society. Our culture has adopted this idea that, well, once you reach the age of 65, step out of the way. There's young ones coming up that are going to take the helm, and they're going to, lead us wherever. But the wisdom that is contained in the consciousness of those, quote, retirees is something that we have lost in our culture. And so the Elder Empowerment Project, the focus of that project is to give that confidence and a set of skills that will allow those people to continue to not only be productive, but to feel fulfillment in their role in our society. Rather than pulling up a rocking chair and sitting on the front porch enjoying the sunset. Of course, we don't have many porches these days, but sitting on the patio, if you will, and enjoying the sunset. That really is, that's fine, but it's not very fulfilling. And so what we're trying to do with this project is to allow those people to bring their wisdom into our culture once again, to be the wisdom keepers, to be the torchbearers, and to provide them skills such as learning storytelling, learning about themselves through meditation and journaling, learning how to speak in public forum, whether it be one-on-one or one-on-many, to be able to take these metaphorical, metaphysical, allegorical stories and to be able to convey wisdom through storytelling, to be able to understand what those metaphorical stories are about, to be able to pass that wisdom that's contained therein on to those who are interested. So the elders that participate in this program, the intention is to allow those elders the skill set to be the wisdom keepers in their respective communities, to be the ones that, our culture desperately needs, because we have lost that wisdom that has in the past been present. So we are the ones that we've been waiting for. I'll go back to this passage in James chapter 2, verses 14 to 17. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm, and eat your fill, and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. And likewise in our spiritual journey, if we are not willing to do the work to express our divinity, to be the bearers of the Christ light, if we're not willing to do the work, then our expression of our being the Christ light really has no effect other than to perhaps aggrandize our ego. So it's important for us in our spiritual journey to look about and see, where is it that I can make a difference? Where can I apply my history to help this person or these people rise up? It is an important aspect of our spiritual journey for us to step out there and with generosity offer what we have to offer. And you may say, well, I don't know what I have to offer. Just being present with someone is a great offering. We have this project that is what is it, on the third Sundays now, Carol? The third Sundays? At a memory care or a memory what do you call that facility? A memory care facility. Okay. That somehow seems to be a weird title, but yeah, it's for people who are going through dementia or going through Alzheimer's, dementia of various sorts, including Alzheimer's. It is an opportunity for you to be present with someone, and just being present in an open and loving way is a way for you to offer these individuals who, for no fault of their own, are going through this experience of being able to enjoy a joke over and over and over again. It's an opportunity for you to express your heart, to express your presence, even though you feel that you have nothing else to offer. It's a great blessing. So as we are on our spiritual journey, it's important for us to realize that we're not on this journey by ourselves. Yeah, we're responsible for our own progress. We're responsible for our own expression. But we're not on this journey by ourselves. We are with each and every one of us in our moment, in our community, on this planet. It is part and parcel of our spiritual journey to recognize that we are just one node in this web of life, and how we can contribute to lifting someone else up, to bringing joy into their lives, or at least bringing, as in the memory care facility, bringing a little bit of presence into their life, is a great benefit, not just to the person that you're serving, but to yourself. Because faith without works is dead. And we need to acknowledge that. We are on the spiritual journey. We are all on this spiritual journey. And as we recognize that we are here with everyone else, perhaps we are a little bit shorter distance to the top of the mountain than others, we can nonetheless lift everyone in our presence. The Course in Miracles talks about this. The Course in Miracles talks about the sonship being all of the people of this planet, all of the sentient beings of this planet that share in the consciousness of the divine consciousness of God, that the whole sonship must rise together, that there is no element of the sonship that will arrive earlier than the other elements of the sonship. And when we recognize that it is so important for us to help each and every member of the sonship arise, to know that we are the ones that we've been waiting for, that we are the ones responsible for this lifting. When we recognize that, we are well on that journey of fulfillment of our spiritual quest. Yes, if what the Course in Miracles says is true, that the whole sonship rises together, then it is extremely important for us to look about and see how we can help. How can we lift? How can we engage? How can we bring joy to the hearts of those that we are with, including our family? Ginger, thank you for that prayer. You always sit there. I don't know why I have a trouble finding you in the congregation. But yeah, that's it. Sit somewhere else okay. But thank you for that prayer of, yes, lifting the members of our family. And that is an important reminder for me. I have had some challenges in that regard. And so thank you. In any case, faith without works is dead. We are not alone. We are all in this together. And let us strive to look about and see where we can help. And give that help unconditionally. Give that help without expectation of return. Give that help with the idea that this is not just for the person that we're serving. It is also for us. It's also for me as I help lift. And notice how your life changes. The events may be as they are, but the response to the event is going to be transformed by your shifting your awareness to being the ones that we are waiting for. We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come. As we settle into this moment, leaving all of our concerns and tribulations set aside for this moment, we breathe into this moment. We allow ourselves to focus fully here, now. At some time in the past, each of us has had the opportunity to serve unconditionally. I'd like you to recall that moment, that experience. Someone needed your help. Whether they voiced it or not, someone needed your help, and you offered it. You offered it without any expectation of return. You offered it without any expectation of thanks or even acknowledgement of what you did. In that moment of loving giving, recall how you felt. Was there in that moment that expectation? Well, why didn't she thank me? Or why didn't he at least acknowledge what I did? If there was that, that's not the moment I'm talking about. I'm talking about the moment where there was no expectation. There was no acknowledgement. Now, some may find it difficult to find such a situation. And in that case, I suggest that you do that you find such an opportunity to give without any expectation of return. But if you've had that experience, feel how it feels. Feel how your heart was full. Feel how that love was flowing through you into the moment. Feel that sense of expansion that comes from that flow of love. And if you haven't had that experience, imagine what it would be like. Feeling the love overflowing. Lifting you. Transforming you in that moment. In that experience, you probably felt that this love was there to the extent that you were willing to give it. Indeed, that is true. That the essence of God is the expression of love, unconditional love, love without expectation, love without demonstration of return. Love, unconditional, filling the moment. And in that experience, if you noticed, there was a reflection of that unconditional love back to you. That the moment was glorified by that unconditional love. The moment was filled. The moment was transformed. That experience that passes all understanding, that experience is one that we can have often. And that experience is the nutrition for our growth. That experience transforms our lives moment by moment. Being fully present in the present without concern for what happened or worry about what will be. That experience brings you into the moment. And so it is there that we experience God. It is in the present that we experience the divine moving through us to transform our world. And in this awareness, we give thanks. And as we come back into this time and space, let us come back sharing the words of Alleluia. Hallelujah.